Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning or good afternoon or good evening, my students, according your area present in it. Today we will discuss a very important subject about thing that important for our lives. That is stress and its management. Stress can be faced everyone, but how you can deal with the stress, that is well known in this lecture by Dr Wafaa Osman, Head of Psychiatric Mental Health Nursing Department, Faculty of Nursing, Helwan University. What are the objectives they need to learn in this lecture? Intended learning outcomes. By the end of this lecture, the student will be able to define the stress, recognize the different kinds of stress, mention the different type of stressors, discuss the different models of stress, apply stress management strategies. First, what is the stress? Stress is the body automatic response to any physical or mental demand placed on it. Also, stress typically describes a negative condition that can have an impact on an organism's mental and physical well-being, stressor, positive or negative. What is subjects that response for reaction of stress? There is certain type of neurotransmitters that each one have certain function. In the condition of stress, adrenaline release. Adrenaline is one of neurotransmitter substance. Adrenaline in first stage of stress when released to balancing with the situation. But if the stress continues, adrenaline increased and increased until the function increased that give the order for each system to increase the function that lead to maybe increase in hypertension, in respiration rate, in the vibration of the heart, and so on. Adrenaline is a chemical naturally produced in our body as a response to stress. Researchers define stress as a physical, mental, or emotional response to events that causes bodily or mental tension. Simply put, stress is any outside force or event that has an effect on our body or mind. Because there is relation between the body and the mind. If the body has good physical health, the mind will be has good mental activity, and if the body has bad physical condition, the mind will be deteriorate in mental activity. Also, stress is a normal part of life in small quantities. Stress is good. It can motivate you and help you become more productive. However, too much of stress or a strong response to stress can be harmful. Little amount of stress, like when the students starting the exam, there is time student feel with some of stress, but when he thinking well and try to balancing, he beginning to study hard to pass the exam. But if the stress in the quantity and feeling increase with sense of anxiety, that will be harder on him to face the situation or pass in the exam. Is all stress bad? Moderate levels of stress may actually improve performance and efficiency. Too little stress may result in boredom. Too much stress may cause an unproductive anxiety level. You should know anxiety, it is one of psychiatric disorder. Why it called anxiety? Because it is disturbance and cause change in the normal life activity in the personal condition. Kind of stress. We find two kind of stress: positive stress or negative stress. What is the criteria for each of them? Positive stress, also called easo-stress, equal positive stress. It is characterized by motivates focus, energy, is short term, is perceived as within our coping abilities, feels exhausting, improves performance. But negative stress, also called distress, has causes an anxiety or concern, can be short or long term. Also, negative stress is perceived as outside of our coping abilities. Negative stress feels unpleasant. Negative stress decreases performance. Negative stress can lead to mental and physical problem. If you observe this figure, easo-stress when increase performance. Distress if increased may be lead to stress and decrease performance. What is sources of stress? Maybe environmental, social stressor, physiological stressors, or thoughts. The environmental source for stress includes weather, noise, crowding, pollution, traffic, unsafe, and crime. Social stress or stressors include financial problems, job interviews, presentations, disagreements. Physiological stressors include rapid growth of adolescent, menopause, illness, aging, and sleep disturbance. What about sources of thought stress? Your brain interprets and perceives situation as stressful, difficult, painful. That is mean you are thinking by negative way. So this way for thinking by negative way lead to difficulties in concentration, difficulties to thinking in positive way, sense of painful, and sense of stressful situation. Other stressors of stress: school, work, family, relationships, legal, financial, health and illness, environmental and living situation. Response-based model. It is one of the model that explain the stress and how the individual perceive it. Hans Selye is one of psychologists, theorists that discuss about stress. She said, stress response is characterized by a chain or pattern of physiological events called the General Adaptation Syndrome, JAS. If the stress is external or long-standing, the normal mechanism may not be sufficient. This causes the stress triggers a wide range set of bodily changes called General Adaptation Syndrome, JAS. The stage of stress that Selye arranged in 3 stages. First one called alarm stage, second stage called resistance stage, and last one, third stage called exhaustion stage. Response-based model by Selye. The person response to stress consists of 3 stages: alarm stage, or maybe can called also fight and flight stage. That is a threat is perceived the bodily response physiological. that is appear for signs and symptoms like palpitation, rapid respiration, sweating, and rapid eye movements, and maybe constipation, diarrhea, disturbance for gastroenteritis as a general, disturbance of urinary tract, disturbance in the heart circulation, disturbance in the respiratory system, and so on. It is physical change related to the sense of stress. It is called alarm stage or fight and flight. Second stage, according Sally, resistance. Coping mechanisms are used to try re-establish homeostasis. Try to searching about any coping mechanism to use to solve the problem. Try to use the helping from other person. Try to use his or the capability or ability to solve the situation. This is resistance for second stage. Third stage, exhaustion occur if homeostasis is not achieved. The phases of stress responses. As we see, first stage, alarm stage. When stressors are threatening or perceived to be threatening, the body activates physiological changes that ready it for fight or flight. Second stage, resistance. The fight or flight response occurs long-term. Coping with stressors depletes adaptive energy, resulting in exhaustion. Last stage, stage number 3, exhaustion, when the body has used up its adaptive energy and can no longer cope with stressors. It breaks down in disease, collapse, or death. Now we will discuss what is the negative effect of stress, that divided to 13 parts. Part 1, physical effects like weight gain or loss, sweat palm, muscle tension, flushed cheeks, unexpected hair loss, heart palpitation, high blood pressure, light headache. Emotional, second part of negative effect, emotional negative effects of stress, mood swinging, anxiety, can lead to depression, nervous irritability, anxious, panicky, can also lead to unhealthy coping strategy, like the person to cope with his situation takes the negative way of behavior like take alcohol or drug abuse. Third part of negative effect related to stress, behavior change, like in some person, some of the people avoiding situation where experiencing anxiety might occur. Other people leaving situations when feeling of anxiety beginning to occur, and other trying to do things perfectly or trying to control events to prevent danger. Other behavior symptoms like eating more or less than normal habits, sleeping too much or too little, isolating himself from others, procrastinating or neglecting responsibility, using alcohol, cigarettes, or drug to relax, nervous habits, nail biting and pacing. Towards the third negative effect of stress, we find overestimations of danger or underestimation of your ability to cope, or underestimations of help available. Last one, wars and catastrophic thoughts. I wanted to ask the question, stress related to illness. The stress cause medical illness or medical illness maybe cause stress. Two of them. Stress maybe lead to chronic illness, or chronic illness cause stress. What is the types of chronic illness that each one may be lead to the other? Heart diseases, asthma, obesity, diabetes, headaches, gastroenteritis problem, Alzheimer's disease, accelerated aging, and premature death. So we should deal with this stress, and different situation may be lead to stress. What should we do? There is ABC strategy. ABC strategy to deal with the stress and avoid or decrease the situation or the tensions of stress in the different situation. ABC strategy, that is mean A equal awareness, B equal balance, C equal control. Awareness for what? Awareness for your self ability, capability, what is strength point and what is weakness point, what is the point we want to change for strength point, how you can gain certain experience, how you can gain help, aware with the situation itself, aware with alternative solutions, aware with the ways you can deal with the stress. Balance, that is mean you can deal with the stress with positive way. We can deal with the stress without negative effect on you. How you use healthy defense mechanism and avoid unhealthy defense mechanism. How you can solve the problem in scientific way. How you can analyze your situation in positive way. Control means apply the methods and ways that can be controlled the stress situation and deal with it by applied positive strategies. Coping. What is meaning of coping? The term coping is used to refer to the process by which person attempts to manage stress domain. Coping resources. Is there coping resources you can use to deal with stress? Yes, there's different ways for coping resources, like defense techniques, that I mean healthy defense mechanism, not unhealthy defense technique. Social support, material and emotional support. Motivations have different type. Maybe motivation related to physical condition, spiritual motivation, social and psychological and religion motivation. Problem solving and social skills, knowledge and intelligence, positive beliefs, also positive thinking to deal with the stress, physical and well-being, health and energy, culture stability, last one, strong ego identity. Coping strategies. Nurses have a major role in helping patients with stress to cope more effectively. The major role of psychiatric nurse is to help patients learn or regain high effective coping strategy and avoid ineffective or destructive strategies. Now we will discuss the ways to deal with stress. How we can manage stress. Stress relief by certain strategies. First one, body relaxation exercise, like breathing technique. What is the ways to do that? You should be sitting in comfortable position, then you take deep breathing from the nose, then you count from 1 to 3, during inhalation. Then you exhaled the breathing with count 1 to 5. 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5. Guided imagery, that is ways to remember the good situations happen to you in certain time, like when you sitting on the sea, the beach of the sea, and looking to the sky. Then you begin to mention all good things in your life with concentration, with the sound of the water and the color of the sky when you relax on the beach of the sea. It is way to help you more relax and increase secretion of dopamine and serotonin. It is types of neurotransmitter that help you with good moods. Second strategy of managing stress, physical exercise. Simple physical exercise like walking on the beach or light yoga. If you read about the light yoga, you find more than 100 or more than 150 of the types of light yoga that is help you to relax. Workout routine, it is from the physical exercise. Other type like meditations and counseling like talk therapy or life coaching. Counseling clinic, it is one of the specialist individual that use certain technique in dealing with the stress with the patients or the individual suffering from difficulties or need help from one specialist. It is have the certain ways to upload. Other helpful tips to manage stress: changing perceptions and expectation. If you thinking by negative way and you talk with yourself with negative talk, like I can't do that, it is impossible to do, no, you should be change this way when you thinking or talking with yourself to inshallah I will do that, I have certain ability to do that, I have different way to solution this problem, I will do that in good manner, and so on. Other tips: break jobs, tasks into manageable parts. The huge tasks should be break to small tasks and set it according priorities, then begin to manage each one in the certain time. Set reasonable and realistic goal. Each thing you want to do should be set the goal for that, and also you thinking what is the expected outcome, maybe lead, maybe find percentage of error, yes, but it is 50 only percent, 5 only percent to happen to error. But if you set realistic goal with your ability, you can get good outcome. Avoid procrastination to avoid sense of hopelessness, inability to engage in the certain duties. From important point for tips: set boundaries for all things. Set boundaries for yourself to set limit and help you scheduling your time. Set boundaries for people around you. That is help you to determine what did you want. Don't compromise your values or belief, because there is individual differences. Also, and very important to do, schedule me time. Problem solving techniques. It is one of the strategy for facing stress. An extremely adaptive coping strategy is to view the situation objectively. After an objective assessment of the situation, first you should be assess the situation. The problem solving and decision making model can be instituted as following. 1. Assess the facts of the situation. 2. Formulate goals for resolution of the stress situation. 3. Study the alternative. It is very important to study the alternative and set each one of them in the sequences of priority for dealing with the stress situation. 4. Determine the risks and the benefit of each alternative and what is the percentage to success. It is very important to set all alternative in the priorities. Then select an alternative you see that is the more suitable one. Then implement the alternative selected. Then evaluate the outcome of the alternative implemented. If the first choice is ineffective, select and implement a second option in the same sequences to arrive the solve this problem. Stress reduction methods. The stress strategy is more and more. If you read online about stress strategy and you see 13 videos, you will be find the more and more of strategies. It is just a hint to beginning the first step to searching about stress reduction methods, like group of social support, creative imagery, thought stopping for negative thought. When you thinking with negative way, we should be talk to yourself, stop this negative way and changing the thinking, your thinking in positive way. Also, there is breathing exercise, regular exercise, simple exercise like walking, proper nutrition. It is very important because the healthy way in your life, it is healthy lifestyle, help you to regulate the neurotransmitters and all body hormones. It is very important because if you remember in the lecture of mental health and mental illness, we said the disturbance of nutrition may be lead to mental illness because disturbance of neurotransmitters and other types of vitamins and mineral may be disturbance of the function of the body. Relaxation response, quiet environment, passive attitude, comfortable position. There's also meditations. You can recording the positive talk and you can recall it when you need, or you can listening to the classic music and you beginning to remember the good situation in your life. Biofeedback. Also there is self-hypnosis, and finally time management. What is the benefit of stress management? Why we should be use the certain strategy for stress management? Physical health get better, more energy and stamina. Emotion stabilize, like positive attitude, hopeful, happy, make you happy all the time. Ability to focus, improve, able to learn and achieve. ways of relaxation. Our brain fires electrical waves at 14 or more cycles a second. These are beta waves and are great for getting tasks done, but not for learning new things. Taking a few minutes to relax deeply, slowly, your brain waves down. These slower waves are alpha waves. They occur at between 7 and 14 cycles a second. Studies show alpha waves improve learning, and it is very important point. Time management, a key to reduce work stress. Time management from the important point. Yes, each one of us try to do scheduling more the time, and he can to continue to do that in each task in the time, but by trying and trying and trying in the time you can improve your engagement by the scheduling 20%, then 30%, 50%, and increase with the time when you habitual on the scheduling. Schedule a timetable. Set priorities your work in the timetable. Learn to say no by polite way. By avoid loss of communication with other or relationship. Assign time for each activity, and you should be do in the time. Put a don't disturb sign. Avoid distractions from yourself or from others around an environment. Get organized. Get structured. Set short-term goals. Also set long-term goals. Short-term goals may be for one day or week or months. Long-term goals may be for the different or several months or year. Use a planner, daily schedule, and to-do list. Cognitive and thought. It is important to control your cognitive and thought in positive way, and avoid you thinking in negative way. Pay attention to what you say to yourself. If you talking with yourself with negative way, that is affect you in negative condition. And when you talking with yourself with positive way, your attitude will be positively. Identify negative thinking and irrational beliefs. Negative thinking lead to stress and increase anxiety. Teaching stopping techniques. Learn to yourself how to stop the negative way of thinking. Yeah, you say to yourself, stop about this negative thought. Yeah, it is one way to stopping and teaching how to stop negative thought. Teaching affirmation. The key word is balance for stress needed. By this point, we arrive to the end of this lecture. Thank you very much. I hope you all happiness in your life. Goodbye.